So HAX.edu is kind of the hub that we're leaning on. You can learn about the project. You can see that we sort of came out of hiding about 8 months ago and started saying like, hey, by the way, people have been using this for a few years. It's been developed in my classroom by students. And there was a lot of UX feedback along the way. So it was like, got 80 seconds. You can learn about HAX, all that fun stuff. Where'd it come from? Why do we have 8-bit characters? There's also a gallery of some potential things that have been made. So as far as understanding like the idea of component architecture, right? If I was to just inspect anything on the web page, right? I've got divs and HTML, but you can see there's a thing called course-card here. And so that's the idea of what we're talking about, that if I were to remove that, it removes everything associated with just that instance.
Yeah.
Now, I edited that. That's not on a live website or anything. But people using that principle are then able to use the HAX editor to build really big online courses. So this is one of our courses over in Eberly College of Science, right? I've got media in the page. I've got this nice pop-up that shows me information about this. Right, we've got these little self-checks. And in other systems, right, people would have to go and write HTML. They'd be limited based on what that authorware tool does. And in ours, whenever we want to expand functionality, we just make a new web component. And so the entire way through this, even our design layer, like we have themes that are driven this way. So I know the name of some of these themes, but for example, if I change this from clean 1 to clean 2, the experience changed, but the content didn't. Yeah, sorry, I don't want to do any of those demos that would freak you out too much. So
that's great. That's
if
great.
I go to HAX PSU in this case, and you can there's copies of this for PHP based systems, Node systems. There's a desktop version here that only works in Ubuntu at the moment. We're trying to make the web ubiquitous. So if I go to IST 256, which is my online course, all right, I've got some different pages here, can drop in, and here's the requirements, right? I tell you up front, it is unethical to pay hundreds of dollars for material that is publicly available. And so I take this philosophical stance into the development of the entire system. Every aspect of this system that you're seeing with this bar that dropped in, right? These are web components all the way down. So they're easy for us to maintain. Wow. We can retroactively update the accessibility of these things. And so let's add a page, and we want the web to feel more like playing a video game. It should be fun and engaging as opposed to like boring and locked in forever. And so if I want to add a child page, right, I get my little coin sound effect. I can hit edit, and this is the HAX editing experience, right? And so I'm editing things in one panel, but it's actually modifying HTML on the side. You can do some Notion-like things. So like if I wanted to add one of those video players, I just type video. I've got a video player added into the content. All right. All right, I can add a title for HAX. And what I'm doing anytime I do one of these operations, whether it's duplicating this item or going in and we tweak some of the colors of it. I don't know if that one implements the colors yet. We're still transitioning how colors are implemented. Oh, there it says accent gray. Sorry. There we go.
Nice.
So if I make that a purple player as if it's like EdTech Joker land, right? Purple. Or I swap out the source of the YouTube video. Like I could, go to YouTube. No, I don't want to go to YouTube. I just search YouTube right here for HAX the web, and nothing comes up with that. Really? That would be the demo I give where it doesn't go to.
Did you do it in Spanish?
I don't know what this is returning from YouTube right now, but sure, we'll go with that. Right. So instead of going to YouTube and understanding what the embed code is or what HTML is, right, I want to hit paste and, you mean a YouTube video.
And it's going to take care of you. Wow.
Right? If it's, we're talking about music in an online course, and so we're going to link off to Spotify, I shouldn't need to understand the Spotify embed. There should just be the Spotify thing. And so every single thing that we add in here, and we've got, I don't know, maybe 80 or so, right? You can do lists and paragraphs and that kind of boring stuff, right? You could do, there's a 3D model. We can do embedding Wikipedia. We can iframe to old content. We can embed Discord. We can embed Twitter. We can make playlists of material. We can have tag lists of things. We can make our fun little RPG characters, because why the heck not at that point?
So you're not only showing us the Swiss Army knife, but you built the Swiss Army knife. You
correct.
and your students and your community have built this thing in front of us. That is these 500 plus tags.
I love this thing so much. I can't even begin to describe my feelings right now.
Right? I mean, like, you should be able to educate the world without needing to pay for products to do so. And it should be sustainable, it should be accessible, and it should work forever. And that is a core principle of what we're building. Everything I just saved, wrote a single, very long HTML page with all these different types of questions. Oh, select the contractions in this sentence. Yeah, yeah. Oh, sweet. It's fun, right? We've got feedback. It told me that it'll is the thing. And we have a standard way of handling these questions, right? Obviously, you have to have references to what sound does the fox make. Right? And students can try it again. You can put these in numerical order, and you get visual feedback that is highly accessible, that this is wrong, and then I need to try it again.
And the little RPG folks in the bottom corner, you know, you've got
RPG guy, which was made by a collaboration of IST and arts and architecture design students. The RPG character in the top corner is actually you, but you as an avatar, so they're randomly generated. And so this content, if I wanted a duplicate of this page, then I should be able to say clone, and okay, now we have a duplicate of that page. Everything that I'm doing, if I were to view source, is just HTML.
Right.
And it's this highly semantic HTML that I could copy and paste and take with me elsewhere very easily.
And for folks who just don't have a coding background, if I understand correctly, because I'm not classically trained. Again, everything I do is novice. But when you say semantically, or when you say that it has semantic meaning, it's the point of that is it's almost legible. Like you can read it and get the meaning of what that tag is. That one tag said RPG character. You didn't have to read RPG underscore A16 underscore blah, blah, blah. Like, you know, a lot of coding and other things in the world have gotten so much jargon and other junk around it. You can't actually read it, but yours was like RPG character, color, size, shape, position, that it, like things that we can semantically understand. This is unlike anything.
And if I'm sarcastic, which I mean, as you know me, I am sarcastic. So if I want something to be sarcastic, I should have a tag for applying sarcasm.
I love it.
And that
Reddit needs that. Holy smokes, does Reddit need that?
Right?
It says, my gosh, it is actually there. That is amazing.
Right? And then if I need to change it, right, it should be able to do that. And we make these, you know, some of these more silly ones, honestly, like one of the first tags we made is a meme. And so the meme maker, you know, just generates top text and bottom text. Right. And if I need to, I can't do take a photo right now, but I could take a photo of my face from my webcam.
Sure.
Yeah.
Or I could search, I think NASA is one of the publicly available media sources. Yeah. So if I wanted to search NASA for Saturn, and we wanted to make a funny meme about Saturn.
Wow.
Right. So and again, like we're trying to unlock a level of creativity that you would never stop in working on an online course and say like, well, is this a place where we could use humor to prove a point? And yes, if it's in a classroom and something kind of funny or interesting happens, I would stop and maybe make like a, you know, an offhand comment or something, or point to some example that someone used. And I would never think to do that because it would be too much work. I don't want you to have to, I want you to just be fluidly creative at all times. And that no matter what we've made, I can go in and I can say, I'm going to take this site and we're going to make it look like the website I made in college.
Oh my gosh, that's practically my Zanga.
So
I promise you.
I mean, like this is literally a table-based design that I made as an undergrad, and I found it on something, and I said, all right, well, this is going to help prove the point, right? The content and those blocks render and are separate, and you can even see it in the menu over here, right? It's picked up these colors. All of this is separate from the output. And so if I want to take the design and then we make it the horrible apartment website I made, because obviously you guys made websites for your apartments back in the day that Pittsburgh for some reason.
Wow.
right? It is for building highly remixable, engaging web content. And yes, online courses are in that sort of a
Yeah.
sphere.
Yeah,
I love
I can see the application of like, and for those listening not watching video content, like Brian's is literally switching between categories in the options, and the site's changing its entire look, but still
Immediately.
keeping like immediately, but yet still keeping everything he just put in here. From an instructional design mentality, I could absolutely see where, like, if you built different formatting or templates for ways courses should flow, function, all based off of important learning design, UX experiences, all of that stuff, and you start to, like, I've been in this place, right? Like, I start to build out a course, and halfway through I go, I should have built it this way. Like, it should have looked like what I did on this other course. And then, to Brian's point, you end up having to make the call. Do I let my creativity drive me here, and do I change the entire course to fit this format? Or do I just keep going with what I did? Because it's going to be a lot of work to change all of this. I could see application here where if you start templatizing stuff in the system, it's so easy to just go, well, let's test it out. Let's change it over to this model, right? Like this is why I'm not joking, Brian. I'm immediately in love with everything on the site right now.
So did you see what I just did while you were talking?
I was not paying attention to it. I think Will was.
So I built a new HAX site from a Word document.
Yep.
Oh, what?
Yep.
And so because we are working in this, like, when we've got the right mentality down about what the output should be, and we're using very modern approaches to web, like I'm not going to go into as far as microservice architecture, but I can spin up a website from a Word document if it uses the heading structure appropriately. And this capability has completely changed the way that we author courses internally.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, that would massively change it. I could see, I mean, Will, you probably had this experience too. How many times do you work with an SME who wants to drop you a Word document of what they want in the course, right? And you spend how many hours copying that over into what should be the course or that dynamic? Like, and obviously, like, there's some stuff you tweak about this once it comes out, and you're probably tweaking about the language of your subject matter expert, and like there's still a bunch of design work that needs to be done. But the fact that just took all that stuff out of the Word document and dropped it right in, to your point, appropriate heading structure, stuff like that, that's going to need to be in place. But that's insane.
I've never seen web development move quicker.